Your New York Jets kept it close.
Good day. Kept it close and got moved up the draft order. I think a very good day.
Exactly what you need. 32-26, the final score. The Miami Dolphins victorious in this one. We'll take a look at the top 5 Miami Dolphin players. Start things out since they got the win. Linebacker Jordan Brooks, a 91.5, and a high run defense grade, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle, an 82.8. Offensive tackle Kendall Lamb with a 78.5. Safety Jordan Poyer, a 76.2. And then edge rusher Calais Campbell with a 72.6. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa in this one, a 77.2. And then on New York side of things, at the very top of the list, we got defensive tackle Solomon Thomas. Look at that, 85.2 overall grade. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson with an 82.2. And then fellow wide receiver Devontae Adams next on the list at a 74.7. Running back Braylon Allen, a 69.5. Running back Isaiah Davis, a 68.6. Aaron Rodgers in this one, good day from Aaron, 82.7. Which stat told the story, Dalton?
So the Dolphins, funny enough, they were really bad on third down in this game. I think it was 1 for 9. But it didn't matter because they were so darn good on early downs. They picked up 18 first downs on early down plays. That was the most by any team in any game this season. All right, 0.267 EPA per play on early downs, 6.9 yards per play. And something I want to throw in there because the Jets kind of struggle with it. They had 190 yards after the catch just on early downs. The screen game, especially in overtime, we saw 2 times in a row with Jonnu Smith. Jets just kind of gave him the space, and and that was that. They just had to make open field tackles and really been struggling to tackle all year. We've talked about that, but the Dolphins and their ability to make chunk plays and yards after the catch on first and second down was really a big key for their offense because, they weren't good on third down. They were not good on short yardage in this game. First and 10, and then when they had advantageous second down situations, they took full advantage when they could. So they weren't in third down too often, and this is the reason.
Jets' lack of complementary football is sort of like my stat that told the story here because 26 points, that's the second most points they've had in a single game this season. Both of their highest scoring games they have lost. The other one was against Indianapolis when it was 28-27. They lose that game at the buzzer. And so both of the games in which the Jets have scored their highest points output, they have lost. And I just think it's sort of a representation of their season and how, no Sauce Gardner in this game. And it was just one of the showings that it's not the same Jets team that it was before, right? We talked about the Jets team last year and the year before. It was just like, man, give me average quarterback play and this team makes the playoffs. We're not really there right now. We're not there anymore with where this team currently is at on the defensive side of the ball. So they're lacking that complementary football. If the offense plays well, the defense plays bad. If the defense plays good, the offense plays bad. Like, it's something every week with the Jets that is holding them back. And so whoever's going to be the next head coach, they've got to be able to tie those things together a lot better. Most impressive for me is Jordan Brooks. 91.5 grade, 91.4 run defense grade for the Miami Dolphins. So he's standing out in a big way. 83.0 and 93.4 run defense grade over, so 83.0 overall grade and 93.4 run defense grade over the last 5 weeks. So Jordan Brooks is playing really well in the middle of that defense for this Miami Dolphins team. So a big shout out to him as the most impressive, I thought, in this one. And then most disappointing, I just had anyone covering anyone.
Yep.
That was the most disappointing in this football game. Both quarterbacks over 300 yards passing, over 77.1 passing grade, no turnover-worthy plays forced on either of these quarterbacks all game long, above 80 adjusted completion percentage for both of them, quarterback rating over 100, and both of them were top 8 in the NFL in EPA per pass for their offenses this week. Nobody could cover anybody. You couldn't get after them. You couldn't rattle them. And sure, kudos to the quarterbacks. Of course, I don't want to take anything away from the quarterbacks, but the defense has got to play a little bit better than this somewhere. And it just felt like they were tough on both sides.
For most of the year, these have just been two defenses that aren't very good, and it showed, again, both of their flaws. But I'll tell you what, I'll stick with the run defense team for most impressive. Jets' run defense actually showed up, and you know what? They've showed up the last 3 weeks. Through Week 10, they were 29th in the NFL in run defense grade. The last 3 weeks, they're actually first. And in this game, they only gave up 44 yards on 19 carries. The Dolphins, in the second half of this game, only ran for 4 yards. Jets' run defense now, finally, after 10 weeks of not great, finally showed up. And then the coverage fell apart. My most disappointing, I'll focus in on one of those anyone covering anyone things. Rough day for Jalen Ramsey. He had the assignment on Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson won the battle. He allowed 6 catches, 146 yards, all of them for first downs, 39.8 coverage grade. It's been a cold stretch for Ramsey here. 45.5 coverage grade over his last 4 games. So not only is it a weakest link thing sometimes with the secondary where you talk about you're only as strong as your weakest link, but when your superstar player is struggling, you're going to struggle to cover in the secondary for sure.
Yeah, especially because Ramsey has been playing well this season. It's been a good year from Jalen Ramsey. It just was a tough day at the office for him. And again, if for the way that the rest of that coverage unit has played this year, like you said, if Ramsey is struggling, it's probably going to be a tough day at the office for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.